What's up, you filthy casuals? This is the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, a podcast all about everything PC gaming related. I'm one of your hosts, JERMgaming. My real name's Jeremiah, and tonight I am joined by James. How are you doing, James?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic. Your level of enthusiasm does not seem to be up to mine, James. What's wrong?
Well, I'm not the host.
Okay, cool.
I don't have to be excitable.
Enough talking, James. All right. And we are joined by Dave, the not-so-evil Viking 13. How are you doing, Dave? What's new over in your place?
Well, there's a lot of coughing. More coughing than sleep, actually. A lot of coffee. You know, it's pretty good. I'd say, actually, even without the coughing, it's been a pretty good week, you know.
Do I see some produce? Do I see some produce back there on your desk?
No, it's just packages and stuff. There's nothing.
I see a potato station. I see a potato station 4. What is a potato station doing? Yes, thank you. I don't need to see it yet. It's not here. I can't touch it, so I don't want to see it.
You see what it's next to, right?
Next to your AR, I do. I see that.
No, this.
Tannerite?
I've never seen one of these before. This is a 2-pound off-brand Tannerite explosive target.
All right, Dave. Here, come to Jesus moment. Should you be buying off-brand explosives?
They're patent expired. So,
not making me feel better.
I bought all my Tannerite from the local sporting goods store. This is from Dick's Sporting Goods. I assume they've tested it. It's next to all the shotgun.
That's
ammo.
like saying you assume the FDA has checked into something.
Regardless, this is the biggest one I've ever found. I mean, we could put the potato station to good use. Shut up, James.
All right.
Back to your log.
I'm going to tweak the volume mixer because everyone in chat is complaining. They can only hear me. Well, that's all you need to hear. But here, can you guys talk real quick?
Hello.
All right. See if you whiners. See if that's any better. All right. So, we're going to start the podcast, like we always do, with something different pretty much every week, with Patreon shoutouts. Thank you to people who have pledged to support us on Patreon recently. This week, those people were Michael. Thank you, Michael. Joel's not here to sing your praises in a stupid voice. Also, Dark Gus Gus. I don't know if there's a better way to say that name, but it really looks like he typed it Dark Gus Gus, so thank you, Dark Gus Gus. And if that is supposed to sound a lot more badass, please let me know how to say it correctly and I'll correct it. But I think it's just supposed to be Dark Gus Gus.
Dark Goose Goose.
You make it German. Dark Goose Goose. Gusenheimen. And then Pierogi bumped her pledge up, so thank you, Pierogi, for continuing to be a sponsor of the podcast. You may be wondering what your money's going towards. Well, Debbie, you'll hear in new DayZ videos coming out soon, and if she's on the podcast again, her mic has gotten significantly better. She's gone from like a USB mic that you get in, a Happy Meal as a toy to a real headset now. And Mark has also
Compact brand.
He's gone to a
No, seriously, James.
How long has it been since they were a brand?
John got it from the clearance rack at Staples, like the little clearance bin of like accessories that someone opened and then like, I don't even want to steal this, and they put it back. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So, all right, and then Debbie's has gotten better. Mark's has also gotten better, but he is away for a little bit right now. He's getting ready to move, so he doesn't count. But his has gotten a little bit better, and you should hear him. And we're working on James. Actually, I guess your mic stand thing has worked out really well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've got freedom.
But we didn't buy you that mic stand. Did you have one laying around?
No.
Do you want to be reimbursed for the mic stand?
That would be nice.
Okay, I didn't know where it came from.
My wallet.
Oh, Patreon will get you that mic stand. Just send me some info. And I guess more of your Patreon money just goes to fill Dave's coffee habit. He's just it's not.
It's cheap. A good cause, guys.
No,
honestly, it's why I'm alive today.
That's disturbingly probably not true. Or probably true, actually. That's what I meant to say. Anyway.
Probably.
But yeah, thank you to everyone on Patreon. You help support the podcast, and we appreciate you. And you support the kind of working pretty consistently now TeamSpeak server. Yeah.
How'd you fix that, by the way? Just a ticket complaining, or?
Yeah, well, they said that they were just having a problem with one server that was hosting a bunch of the servers, and they said, yeah, we're working on it. And then they sent me a message that said, oh, should be fixed now, and it seems to have worked pretty well. It still goes down like maybe once or twice a day to restart, but that's about it.
Nice.
All right. Quick DayZ news about our DayZ stuff on YouTube. You may have noticed that episode 5 of Breaking Bad did not
Exist.
materialize in the way that we were hoping. And the reason was the game turned into a broken shell of misery. And
For weeks.
it was pretty impossible to actually break bad on anyone because, like, we were just trying to break bad against, server restarts and the server randomly deciding not to, remember your stuff and cool things like that. So the recent patch that came out, which we will be talking about later, it is good. Lots of things about it are good, and we are actually recording now for a brand new DayZ series, and Breaking Bad is just going to be 4 episodes this time, and the season will resume when it is possible to actually be bad again, for reasons we will talk about later.
True. And
So-
awkwardly, I'm going to have, 12 minutes of one episode that's just going to be, smacked on to the beginning, because I can. I'm just going to cherish that footage. I mean, it's got James in it, so I can't just, toss it away. It's a special time that we had together murdering people,
All right. We're now going to start the podcast like we always do with the news. Second thing up. The first bit of news is about something that none of us probably are affected by. Some of you guys might be who are listening. But Blizzard has canceled their next MMO. They were working on Titan, which do we know if that was like a code name or was that the actual name of their next MMO? Dave, you're chewing. You're not available to talk right now. That's the impression I'm getting. James, do you know anything about this?
No, but Google does. Give me a second.
Okay, so they've been working on their next MMO. They've been working on it for 7 years, and supposedly they've put $50 million into it. But Blizzard CEO Mike Morhaime said that they didn't find fun in the game, and they decided to cancel it. And it was an excruciating decision.
Where did we
So-
hide that fun?
Now, people have said $50 million. Other people have said anywhere from $70 to $140 million. So we don't know exactly how much it cost, but probably it was, at least a few $1,000,000. They've been working on it for 7 years. Now, Blizzard can probably take that much of a hit. So, I don't know if they're not in trouble as a company, but it's probably not a good sign that the undeniable king developer of the MMO genre, nobody can touch Blizzard's MMO pedigree at this point. It's probably not a good sign they've canceled their next MMO. I don't know what that means for MMOs. MMOs have kind of been stagnant for a while. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's been a long time since I've been really excited to play an MMO. Even an MMO based on source material I'm interested in, like the Elder Scrolls. The MMO gameplay itself did not appear to be that fun, and I have not been excited to play it. What do you guys think?
It's
Honestly,
the same,
though,
it's the
I
same
don't
thing
think
with
it-
Destiny.
What's
You'll
the same
find
thing?
You'll find the same thing with Destiny.
That I'm not excited to play it?
You won't be excited about the MMO components as you are just being able to play with a friend.
A friend. Play with a friend on my potato station.
Honestly, I don't think it means that it's a bad sign for MMOs as a whole. I think it just means that Blizzard is still drowning in so much money that they have the freedom to be really, really picky about what they're working on. And if they're not 100% satisfied, they don't have to release anything or even continue working on it. They have the financial stability to scrap years and years of work. Just make that decision and say, our reputation is more important than a possibility of extra revenue.
Well, do you think it's their reputation, or are they just more concerned about the financial side of it? Blizzard at this point, do you think they really care, or are they worried that they haven't been able to innovate? World of Warcraft hasn't really innovated in the 10 years it's been out. It came out as one thing. They've released a bunch of expansions that are really more of the same thing, and they've refined and improved upon the original experience, but they haven't really innovated, at least not what you would expect for something that's been out for 10 years. So do you think they're just worried that they don't really have anything new to talk about? They don't have anything new to put out? It's just going to be next-gen World of Warcraft in a way?
Is that such a bad thing?
I don't know. 6.5 million
I'm not a
people.
World of Warcraft fan, but
Yeah, 6.5 million people still playing it. Peak of 13 million. It was a huge game. There's probably tons of people that would play World of Warcraft 2, but is that something that they want to do? Blizzard hasn't been on a real roll with sequels. Diablo 3 was sold well, but critically, people were not huge fans of it.
It's getting better.
It's getting better, but that's not really what you want to say about a game. Is it's getting better? You want it to be it's good. So I don't know.
Say that about Destiny.
Yeah. Man, you're not really making me excited here.
No, I love playing. It's just to me, it's well, we talk about this later, but to me, it's just I can sit down and play a mission and be done.
Yeah.
Level up a little bit.
That's nice though. I like that.
Stuff.
For me, that was Borderlands. Borderlands was, hey, do you not like? We can't really think of anything you want to play. Let's play Borderlands. It's not hard. We're not going to die a bunch of times. We're just going to be able to play and succeed and have a good time, and then put it away and
loot.
not. Yes, and loot and not remember anything about what we just did, but we had fun, and that's all that matters. So, yeah, that's Titan. That's all the Titan news we have for this week, probably ever.
The only Titan news we will have ever had.
Up next, Dave, get ready with that time code. Hint, hint.
I'm already looking at my phone, sir.
We're going to talk about the GTX 970 and 980. Performance numbers and prices have actually come out now, and Dave,
The cards are out.
yeah, well, yes, but I mean, like last week it was a lot of
Press release, guys. The boxes have the stats on them.
last week it was a lot of like, we're pretty darn confident this is what's going on, but now it's this is definitely the case. Dave, since you are undeniably the most graphics card whorish out of all of us, how does this make your dual 680s quiver? How do you feel about the 9 series?
Quiver. I like that use of the word. I actually ran the numbers on last Thursday night as soon as they were announced, and they're great cards if you had not upgraded in a few years and you're not running SLI. Power efficiency is what really surprised me. It's like what the usual 15-20% boost in performance, but then like a 50% drop in power consumption and heat. That's huge for NVIDIA, especially after Fermi, the 400 series.
The Furnace-y. I can't come up with a better pun than that. Sorry.
Well, no, Fermi is named after the guy who built the first nuclear reactor, so I think that's it sells itself right there. Fermi, he was an Italian scientist.
We've released our new card called Sun.
It comes in 2 levels: Sun or the Sun.
Sun or Supernova.
But yeah, I ran the numbers, and while the cards are impressive, it is just basically a 15 to 20% bump from last gen, and I'm only 2 gens behind now. I have a GTX 680, 2 of them in SLI, so I have 2 of the best cards from 2 gens ago, and if I got a single GTX 980, I could probably sell my old cards and pay for it almost just with that money. It would be like pretty close, within about $70 maybe. But I would actually drop about 30% performance, assuming maximum SLI efficiency, which is not always the case, of course. But a lot of my games right now work so well with SLI, it's not worth the upgrade. Like, I think DayZ doesn't use it well because it's not finished yet, obviously. ARMA 3 actually makes great use of SLI when the CPU is not bottlenecking everything. So I'm happy with my 2 GTX 680s. I think my next upgrade is going to be a screen, maybe, not a graphics card.
Has anybody done any testing on overclocking?
Oh, yeah.
Yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. Good call, James.
Well, here, we're going to try something a little different with the mail this week. If you write into the podcast at casualshenanigans@gmail.com, you can ask a question just like Kanan did. Kanan said, "Hey guys, I'm writing this letter because last week on the podcast you didn't get any mail, and it's not because I value your opinion or something. So I'm going to build my new PC, and I've already decided what to get, made a list, but the thing I'm not sure about yet is which video card should I get. I'm willing to spend about $350 on the video card because the list is very long and expensive already, and I do, of course, value your opinions. Love you all, no homo, except Joel. As always, stay casual and shave a seal." Okay, so last week I would have been a little iffy on what to recommend, but now $350 spent on a video card, GTX 970, without a doubt. The reviews of the GTX 970, bang for buck, this might be one of the best cards there is right now. The cool thing about the GTX 9 series is not necessarily the performance, because it is the normal 10 to 15% bump you've been expecting all along, like that you always get every generation. The cool thing is the price. Whereas the GTX 770 and 780 launched around $420 and $550 to $600, or about $600, I think, for the 780. The 970 980 have launched at $330 and $550, which is pretty stinking cool. And that has caused a sudden and dramatic drop in prices for the GTX 7 series. There was a 780 on sale today for $290 after a rebate. I know. That's like 200.
Yeah,
that's like 150 to $200 down. Yeah, retail down in like a week. Because they're pretty much the same thing, and there's no reason to get a 7 series unless it was cheaper.
They're hotter
because
and
yeah, exactly. So
more expensive.
That honestly has me a little tempted. So hear me out.
Here we go.
Here we go. Jump ship.
The 9. Well, I've jumped back and forth like 20 times now. I had.
Jeremiah, how many times have you upgraded your graphics card in the last year and a half?
I don't know, but I can take you through every graphics card I've ever had. Okay, no, it's not that long. I built my desktop with a 9600 GT. Then I got a second 9600 GT. Sold them, got a ATI 4890. Sold that, got a AMD at this point 6870. Sold the 6870 and got a 7950. Got a second 7950. Sold those, got a GTX 770. Sold that, got an R9 290, which is where I'm at now. That's happened since 2008.
Yeah, I was gonna say those aren't very old cards.
No, none of them were. That's maybe I shouldn't be making as much fun of Dave, but
I was about to say, like, when it comes to our group, I mean, I'm definitely the one who whores out over graphics as far as like level of obsession over the graphics themselves. When it comes to purchasing the hardware, you definitely have that crown. Congratulations.
But I jump at the right moment. See, that's the thing, is financially I am making less of an investment, I think, because hear me out. My R9 290, the gigabyte version I have now, performance-wise is still excellent. The R9 290 is a fantastic card. And it was one of the best buys you could get for the money until the 9 series came out. But the 970 is pretty stinking identical in performance. But once you overclock the 970, it is across the board pretty consistently faster than the R9 290. It depends on the application, but it's pretty fast. It's faster. And it's like the same price. My gigabyte I could sell for between $280 and $310. Street price on a 970 is $330. That's a $20 to $30 difference, most likely. And the power consumption's way lower, which means the heat is way lower. And that would interest me, because usually when I play right now, if I take my headphones off, there's a definite whirring noise going on in the background, like air rushing around. And my office gets a little warm. It's not nearly as bad as the problems Dave was having. It's nowhere close to his 480s.
I literally heated my office that one winter where I had both an SLI.
Yeah.
My entire office has no air vent. I didn't bother with a space heater in here in the wintertime. I ran my 680s. Like, I would boot up my computer and like open like Crysis 2 in the background for a few minutes, and it'd be all over with.
Right, and it's not like that at all. It bumps my temperature up by a few degrees, and it's a little bit louder. But for the performance and the price, it was definitely worth it. But
Dave, did you ask if you did you say you're going to go launch the heater?
You could hear it.
Sorry, James, go ahead.
Nope, I had nothing. That was just it.
Okay. So
Thank you for my graphics power.
Although I will say that I think that's going to be my next graphics card too.
Is the 970?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes the most sense, except, James, I would say the exception would be if the 7 series drops even farther. If you see like a 780 for 250 or something, grab it.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, performance-wise, it's like the same card. So, but the 970 overclocked is beating the 780 Ti in some stuff.
Oh, man.
For $330, which is pretty crazy. Joel says he can join. So I'm going to throw up the splash screen. Look how smoothly I'm segueing here.
Hold on.
What?
There was a little bit of issue with that. His exact words to me were, "Invite me. I've got Bluetooth on so I can chat while cleaning and packing." He then said, if you're using TeamSpeak 2, don't bother. I can't use both apps at the same time. So that's like several levels of bad idea, I think.
Oh, but he wants to join, though. What are we supposed to do about that?
We'll have to go back to Skype audio.
We can try it for a second. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, we're gonna add him in. Everyone, mute TeamSpeak and unmute Skype real quick.
Microphone muted.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you guys using TS or?
We were, but we've decided to stop using TeamSpeak so we can talk to you.
Yay!
Well, I mean, you're
Why are you yelling at us?
You sound like horse shite.
I'm sorry. I'm cleaning, getting ready for the beach, so
This
I'm moving
is
things
the-
around. But I have my Xbox 360 Bluetooth headset like a nerd.
Like a
Oh,
nerd? What?
Joel,
That's like saying watching
congratulations
Monday
on-
Night Football like a nerd. LOL.
the amount of electronics and microphones in your house, Joel, and you picked the crappiest and oldest that you could probably find.
I didn't know the
just wanna-
Xbox. Actually, no, serious for a second. The Xbox 360 supported Bluetooth?
No.
what?
It has a switch on it that you can use to connect to the Xbox, and then you have a switch on it to use Bluetooth for your phone or whatever.
Oh, okay. So it's a dual purpose one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Joel, I'm thinking about selling my R9 290 and upgrading to a GTX 970. Talk me out of it.
I don't want to. I can't. You can't talk a PC person out of buying a new video card. You can't talk me out of it. James knows that. When my heart is set on getting a PS4, so I'm like, I'm gonna get it. It's not like, oh man, maybe I should wait for a couple more weeks. Nope, already bought it. Thanks, man.
That's what happened when I rented a full frame camera when I was debating making the switch. And I took like 3 pictures with it and looked at the pictures on the computer. I was like, oh, dang it. This is going to be an expensive week. It was one of those moments where you're like, well, I guess I got to start finding stuff to sell because this has to happen. It's the definite first world like, man, I don't have any real problems. I guess I better buy this electronics.
Oh no, I appreciate nice things too much.
Now,
What a horrible thing.
I talked with Dave about the 970, and he was saying that's probably better for me to just get a second 770 than trying to upgrade.
Well, it is, Joel, because...
I mean, it's only about 15% better, which is whatever.
Well, they're dropping in price so fast. The GTX 770s are bottoming out in price. Probably you want to wait a few more days, like wait a week or two. I don't know. It's probably going to be like a month or so that the prices are super low. But there's a good chance you'll be able to get a 770 for like super dirt cheap prices. And then, yeah, I definitely would get one. But
and honestly, the reason I kind of want to get them because I want to kind of couple that with the Oculus Rift because I want to be able to experience games super fluid with that. And
Now,
I want 1440p always.
Oh, yes.
do we know that the Oculus Rift will work that well with SLI? Like, do we know about that? Or is that kind of taking a risk?
Oh, honestly, I wouldn't even know.
Okay. Dave, do you know anything about that?
I was responding to chat. What?
Oculus Rift and SLI, do we know anything about the compatibility?
I would not put money on it. SLI has great compatibility right now, except for weird hardware configurations like that. I would not count
I mean,
on
it
that.
makes sense. Like one card drives each eye. I don't know. It seems like it would make sense.
There's actually a really complicated algorithm that is like required to assign frames, which is why you have to have like official SLI support. Otherwise, it just won't work. Who's beeping? I hear a lot of beeping.
I don't hear
Not
any
me.
beeping.
Is that your TeamSpeak?
It's the bomb.
Yeah, I'm literally hearing like beep beep in my ear.
Is it your TeamSpeak where you muted it?
Yeah,
Mute
is it
the-
remind?
mute the
It might be
speaker,
reminding
too.
you that it's muted.
Mute the speaker too.
Gotcha. Okay, there is not a bomb
Sound muted.
in my room. Well, actually, there's a bomb, but it's not armed yet. You got to mix it first. So.
We kind of talked about that at the beginning of the podcast. It's definitely there.
Um,
It's generic, made in Taiwan, but
So Joel, you've been complaining lately. You and I have been arguing a lot about this. You feel like your GTX 770 cannot handle 1440p gaming. Is that correct?
At basically a steady frame rate that I really feel like it should be able to handle. Like, okay, Titanfall works really great for it, but still, even 1440p. I mean, I can't like having high. It still wavers so much, and the reason why I like to go as high as I can on the PC when I can is because PC games don't support like lower frame rate locks. That's what frustrates me. So it's like I have to have a game V-Sync. It's like it really, really hurts my eyes when I'm like seeing it tear all the time. It's really frustrating. So that's why like I want to play at the native resolution, like, and that's how I want to play. Like I want to play at 60 FPS locked. Like that's obviously DayZ exception because that will never happen. But
I wouldn't say it'll never happen, but not anytime soon.
I'm being facetious. 2020 is the year of DayZ when it's gonna work.
You're being a man child, Joel. Joel, you're being a man child.
I'm being a man child by guessing that
Man-child.
a game that's so far from being optimized is ever going to be optimized? No.
Joel, answer a question for me. Did you have fun last night?
I had fun with you guys. I said parts of the game are a lot better.
No. We're talking about DayZ, not the other thing. Not the other thing.
Oh. Yeah.
Both questions are out there.
Okay. Ask the question again.
Which question?
What?
What was the initial question again? What was it you just asked?
No, I was just giving you a hard time.
Oh.
There was no actual important question. We can move on. Oh, this is irrelevant.
Well, I'm just saying, like, okay, yeah. I know Battlefield 4 is a crappy, edition. I mean, I think it apparently is running pretty well right now, but it's already long past its due that I'm not gonna play it. But thanks, Dave, for Prime or Premium.
I'm still so pissed, Joel.
Hey, I bought you Dark Souls, so I feel like that makes it up.
No, well, okay, Dark Souls is pretty awesome, but Battlefield Premium, Joel, premium. It's got premium in the title.
I know, it means premium DLC coming fast, but coming crappy. Now,
I think you're gonna like the last one a lot.
I don't think I will, because I'll never probably play it. I'll never know if I'll like it.
My goal is to actually. I'm going to lead a charge, Joel. I'm going to talk about it a bit later when we talk about Total War. But you know that both Rome 2 Total War and Battlefield 4 this month are having basically Game of the Year edition / hey guys, we finished the game finally patches that are completely changing the game. Like both of those games, their development is almost parallel. The Emperor edition of Total War just came out, and I won't talk about it too much because I want to talk about it later, but it completely changed the game, and Battlefield 4 is about to do the same thing with its 7-month CTE patch. It's going to be a different game. So yeah, I want to lead a charge to get back to it, but that's just a little rabbit trail of hope and sadness that it took so long.
What's happening?
I was talking about patch stuff, but I want to get back to it later.
I'll wrangle it back to graphics card. I do want to have a nice graphics card to work with my bigger monitor for Battlefront. That is like that.
Witcher,
is,
Joel. Witcher.
Well, I got a PS4 for that. Sorry, Dave.
If you buy it, dude,
no,
there's
I
gonna be
want to
mods.
play with a
There's
controller.
gonna be
I want to
mods.
play with a freaking.
You can play with a controller on your
crap
PC.
About mods.
Controllers work on the PC, Joel.
They don't work the same. They don't. Like, not all games support the same. Like, if you played console all the time, you'd realize that they don't work the same.
Joel, I've owned all of the consoles up until this generation.
Have you played Battlefield 3 with a controller?
Yes.
On a PC? Have you? Have you played it on a console? Okay.
Battlefield 3.
Joel,
no,
you're
I played
actually
Battlefield
picking
4
you're picking one of the specific series that actually has different controls on PCs. The Battlefield series. They chose to do things differently.
I know that, but like a lot of games do that because I've tried.
Witcher 2 has great controller support.
No, it's terrible. I played it. I played it. I played it 4 times. It has bad controllers, and I don't care.
It has great controller
I
support.
want to play on my surround sound system.
I want to play on my potato station.
I'm actually.
Why do you guys have such a problem with this? We don't give you guys shit when you guys buy it on a PC.
Genuinely
disappointed. All you do is give me crap about PC stuff, Joel.
No, like,
that's
okay,
like
if you say, I'm
30%
getting
of your
Star Citizen,
life.
I'm like, why aren't you getting Star Citizen on a console?
Because it's not coming out on a console?
Well, whatever game. You know what I mean?
I can't back you up unless you say intelligent stuff. Sorry.
That felt good, Jeremiah. That felt good.
I don't choose just for graphics-wise, like you.
I know. Okay, says the guy who wants to get a second graphics card because he can't do locked 60.
Okay, look. Battlefront is a game you guys all are going to play. Am I correct about that?
Probably, yeah.
DayZ is a game you guys are all going to play. Am I correct about that?
That's been happening for like
I'm
700
guessing, I'm guessing not all of you are going to play the new Call of Duty game, okay? Jeremiah might play it, Dave won't. But I'm not going to get it on the PC because why would I get it on there to not play multiplayer with no one? I would rather just get it on the PS4, enjoy it there because I'll play with other people.
I understand.
There's no sense in me getting it. So it's like, I like to be able to just boot the system up. Joey can sit down on the couch and watch with me rather than watching on a tiny little screen up in a computer office.
You have a gigantic screen. You have a beautiful screen.
You were just arguing about your screen being so big.
Well, it's big. It's big for a PC monitor. Big for a PC monitor, small for a TV. So comfortable couch.
Or you could just plug your brand new powerful computer into your TV and have the best of both worlds, like an American would. Have it all, Joel. American dream.
Most Americans wouldn't know how to.
Joel, I did set up Steam in-home streaming on the projector today, and it does look pretty good. I play DayZ sitting in my living room with my feet propped up on the couch, at the same 30 FPS that I enjoy sitting at my main computer.
I might do that when if I can get like a small little PC, like a really if they build a nice small one.
No, Joel, you can just use what I mean? You just use your MacBook. As long as it can push a 1080 display, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I know.
Joel, the computer.
I want to get like a little Apple TV thing like that. I can just sit it under the desk, not touch it anymore, and just work.
Well, okay. Oh, you mean something permanent you can leave hooked up to your computer.
Yeah, more permanent. I mean, because I'm using my laptop to work all the time.
Please, Joel, I'm begging you, don't put any more electronics on your TV stand. Please, Joel.
Aren't you going to have to upgrade your stand if you add another computer to it?
He's going to have to upgrade his power grid.
Joel, your entire TV stand, like, one day you're going to come home, like, to all your amber blinking lights, and you're going to watch your TV stand just telescope all the way onto the floor, like, chunk, 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 from all the weight.
It was an inside
Bring
job.
a tear to my eye.
Melt all together. So one big electronic gooey glob.
Oh.
All right. Moving on from the GTX 9 series.
Oh my gosh, that was a half an hour ago.
All right. ARMA 3's helicopter DLC is coming soon. November 4th, to be sure. It's called ARMA 3 Helicopters, lifting off on November 4th. The new DLC will introduce the CH-67 Huron and Mi-290 Teru heavy lift helicopters.
The DLC is expensive, but the puns are free.
Yeah, the DLC is really expensive. It's 2 helicopters, and that's $16 for a modified modern Chinook and a lift chopper. We just patched those in for free.
I think what they're actually doing is you're not paying for the models and the new 2 helicopters. What you're paying for is like the last 6 months of development on the main game branch to add support for the lift systems and the firing from vehicles as part of the helicopters. And also the new helicopter mechanics that's adding more realistic flight controls, kind of like take on helicopters. I guarantee you the money isn't to pay for just the choppers, it's to pay for all the stuff that everyone's getting for free. They're hoping people are going to buy it.
But why not price the helicopters cheap enough the more people are going to buy them? I paid $30 for the game. Why am I going to pay $16 for 2 helicopters?
Hey, I've got
a point
to ask.
Yes.
Dave, are you bringing running shorts to the beach so we can run together?
Why do they have to be running shorts?
Well, because they're tight and they're short. Come on.
No, I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, Joel, I'm going to be packing my running blue jeans, my running work blue jeans for the trip. Really gets the sweat going.
Oh,
nice and clingy. You end up with like all kinds of nice rub marks. Yes, I'm packing running shorts, but I'm not sure when I'll be able to run because I've pulled a muscle under my ribs, and like I can't even sit up at night. It sucks.
Clicking my mouse too much. So many mods. They hurt me.
Does anyone else know what he's talking about?
I think he's making a carpal tunnel joke, but it's really a stretch. 2 out of 10, Joel.
I am most definitely. I'm most definitely not packing anything to exercise with on vacation because I'm doing vacation correctly. Just throwing that out.
Actually, to be honest, I really want to start running it again. I've only done 1 run this whole month because I've just felt so awful with all the coughing and whatnot. Like I did like a mile and 3/4, and by the end of it, I was like my whole chest hurt and I was coughing nonstop. It sucked, but I really do miss running. It's been weeks now.
Well,
don't worry. We can go running together, Dave.
Moving back to ARMA 3.
The feature The feature I'm excited about is firing from vehicles. To me, that is a game-changing feature for all the type of games I like playing in ARMA. I am
like door sounds. It only took us 13 years.
I am excited for all the missions I'm already thinking of, where we'll mostly be riding around in vehicles, shooting out of the windows. There will be the all the gangland shooting missions is what I'm planning on. In the Grecian islands, all those drive-bys and everything. Should be a pretty good time.
We're teaching children good things, just highlighting.
Yeah, all the children that are playing ARMA 3.
Well, there's a lot of children.
Joel, how many hours do you have in Grand Theft Auto 5?
Dude, I have like 150. It's ridiculous.
I'm proud, actually.
120 of them were just murdering civilians.
Joel, I've got a question. Joel. All right,
Yeah.
so you, me, and James all have Potato Station 4s.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
well,
we're getting it.
Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah, of course.
Are
Yeah,
you
it's gonna happen.
also getting it on the PC?
Well, yeah,
Probably-
I'll get that when it's on
probably
sale.
So
trade in.
you're gonna buy this for 4 platforms. You bought it on your
of course.
PS3, your
This is
360.
like Fallout. This is like Fallout. You do what your country asks.
No one's asking. I'm just asking
What?
you what you're gonna do.
That makes no sense. I don't.
Come on. I bought Fallout 3 on Xbox, PS3, Steam, and then I bought it on demand on Xbox.
But you already owned it on Xbox.
I know, and every
Joel,
time I see a sale, I want to buy it again.
Joel, your official title on this podcast is the resident consumerist whore.
I'm fine with that.
We know you are.
All right,
I'm not gonna pipe up because I've bought it that many times too.
so James, are you planning on getting it on console as well, Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah, what I'll probably do is I'll play the heck out of it on the PS4, and then when it comes out on PC, trade it in because the trade-in credit will probably be so high that probably won't spend much money to get it on PC instead.
That's probably true.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm not going to buy it on like a digital one. I'll just buy the disc.
Yeah, so you can trade it in later. That makes sense.
Well, that way we can enjoy 3 months of playing it again before days.
Here is, since we're doing console news right now, also known as the Vegetable Garden. That's what this segment of the podcast is now called. Who just said ha?
That was me in between shoes.
Oh, I looked like James snapped his fingers and someone said ha, and I was like, wait, what? What happened? Joel, what do you use as a mic on your Potato Station?
I mean, right now I've just been using the one that came with it. It's really crappy.
It's
But-
pretty bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
James, what are you using?
The same thing.
Okay.
I'm waiting for Turtle Beach to get those little cables back in stock that work with some of their older headsets.
Oh, you already have a headset?
Yeah, I've got several wireless headsets.
Okay. What type of cable do you need?
There's one that they said it's not just a not third inch. What is it?
A microphone headphone joiner. I know exactly what you need. They're $6 on Amazon. I just ordered one. It takes a headphone and a microphone input, both 3.5 millimeter, and converts them into one 3.5 millimeter 4-pin, 4-section plug that can plug into your PS4 controller. Is that what you need?
Is it the same size though? Because it is a smaller jack.
It's a 3.5 millimeter jack.
No, it's not.
On the controller?
Yeah.
think so.
No. On the PS4 controller, it's a headset.
It's a 3.5
Like
millimeter.
a standard, yeah.
But James,
standard
you have to convert. It's not just a splitter. You have to convert. So yeah, I just bought one from StarTech on Amazon. It was $6. And I'm going to be using my Antlion mod mic and my normal headphones.
I mean, if that's the case, then I'll just do that.
Yeah, I can send you a link to the exact one I bought. Let me try it out tomorrow, make sure everything works. But I found people in the reviews for this particular adapter said it worked fine. So.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Let me know how it works. Yeah, I might have to get similar thing. If it works really well, might as well get all the same. So it works really well.
Well, because if you have a set of headphones, I'm assuming everyone has a spare set of headphones. All you need is like a little clip-on mic. You could even use your same PS4 mic. And well, no, you said the mic's really bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Okay, then,
Would you like to see it?
Sure.
I'll go get it.
Yeah,
All right,
sure.
I'll be right
I'd love to see it. Yeah, Joel, I'm just using an Antlion mod mic. But if you want, Joel, I can send you a link. There's a Google Doc where people have compiled all the headsets that work with the PS4, and there's like 30 headsets. So you don't even need to wait for the Sony one to be good or something like.
Yeah, let me know. I want to look for one. I like being able to have wireless. Like,
okay.
It's convenient, especially with the controller and stuff. Yeah, so I'll try to find just a decent one. Looking for a good one.
Well,
I haven't rushed to get one because no one has it, yet.
Would it count as wireless if it plugged into your controller?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
I just don't want to have like this whole crazy power pack situation stuff. It's just nice. Like,
Well, Joel, the headset you use for your PC, do you not want to use that same one for your PS4? Doesn't it plug in with the 2 cords?
I mean, it's the USB. It's a USB one. So do you have it goes from USB to?
It probably works then. Plug it into your PS4 and try it.
Look at this quality beast.
So it's pretty
I'll
much.
I'll give that a shot.
It's a single corded iPhone earbud, basically.
Yeah.
Minus the quality.
Ugh.
What was I going to say? There's a PS4 controller charger that I really recommend. I'll send you a link to it, but it's really nice. It's for 2 controllers if if your wife plays any games or anything with you. But it's really well made. I love it. It's super handy. It's a really small little thing, and you just basically set your controller down and you push it down as a little spring, locks into place, and starts charging. It's really easy.
Okay.
Just because the cord kind of gets messy after a while, so the little stand's really helpful.
Okay. All right, moving on to Steam Music. Steam Music is officially rolling out. I don't know how many of you guys have been following this, but Steam, well, I just closed out the tab that had my notes in it, so hold on 1 second while I open them back up. Steam Music has been in beta for a while now, and it is actually coming out for reals. It lets you basically do what a lot of people do, where you just queue up music and play music while you're playing a single-player game. It's pretty much just that, but it's officially supported. I guess it's like faster alt-tabbing support or something, because you can just bring it up in the Steam overlay. It's not a huge thing, but they are releasing all their game soundtracks, Valve is, for free DLC for their games to kind of promote this thing. So, I mean, I did when I played Just Cause 2. I would just queue up music and then tool around for hours, just launching boats off ramps and stuff, listening to music. I don't know how many of you guys listen to music while you game, but I do on a pretty regular basis. So I think it's a pretty cool idea. I don't know. Are you guys excited, or is this just kind of?
I hate music while playing a game with a burning, fiery passion.
All right, that's Dave's opinion.
I can't even describe how much I hate. I find it distracting, and
You're describing it right now.
Yeah.
Hey James, tell Dave what we do when we play games that aren't Fallout.
We've done it 2 times.
No, we've done it 3 or 4 times.
Joel, we actually did it in Battlefield Aftermath.
We did it when we played Nether.
Let's clarify what doing it is.
Well, Jeremiah, we have this talk.
We all do it together.
And no one has said exactly what you're doing.
This is great, because we all know what we're talking about, except for you and all the listeners.
All right, so what is it?
They play the Fallout soundtrack in other games, which works occasionally and is amusing for about 10 minutes.
Cool. Okay. Well,
Because
that's enough of
Dave
that.
never listened to the freaking radio while playing Fallout.
Yeah, Dave. Why don't you do
Like a
that?
noob.
Now, I'm not talking about in-game music. I'm talking about listening to a soundtrack or an album from an external source on top of a game. I hate that.
But did you actually listen to the radio station?
Yeah, because it was coming from my awesome in-game communication device. It was part of the environment.
But did you actually listen to it, or did you turn it off?
No, I loved it. I ran with it probably about a third of the time on, 2/3 off. Because it loops a lot,
I made a CD with Christmas music from the 40s, and I installed it on my Xbox 360 when I was playing Fallout during the Christmas season. It was amazing.
Dude, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I was like, yay!
Wait, Joel, I thought you hated mods.
Well, it wasn't a mod. It was on my 360. I just installed the CD.
So it came with the game then? It was part of the original Fallout game?
It came with the Xbox 360.
Oh, yeah? It
As a
did?
feature. Yeah.
So you put the disc in Christmas time and it played Christmas music for you automatically? It's just part of the game?
Part of the game.
Is it part of the game?
Yeah.
Joel hates mods.
All right. Now, let's
Joe.
talk about The Long Dark. Dave, as the only one here who's played The Long Dark, what is The Long Dark? Do you enjoy it? And tell us things.
What a terrible name.
The Long Dark.
The Rape Chronicles.
The Long Dark is that period of the podcast where Joel talks about consoles. And a shadow descends upon the viewership. Actually, the name is actually growing on me the more I think about it. It is a weird name at first, but I don't know. It's kind of somber and has some meaning behind it if you think about it. It is just a little unusual at face value. I actually don't want to talk too much about The Long Dark because I dropped into it without any kind of expectations or information besides the Steam page trailer and a few screenshots and briefly seeing stuff about the Kickstarter a year ago. And I think I enjoyed it more because of that. The TLDR for the game is there's been some kind of event. I think it was possibly an asteroid or a what's the word I'm looking for? That causes electromagnetic interference.
EMP.
EMP.
Solar flare, actually, is what I was looking for.
Solar.
Oh, okay.
something like that, and your plane has crashed in the Canadian wilderness in the dead of winter. And while Canada is usually friendly, a great place for maple syrup, beavers, and harmless police officers on horseback, in this case, it's full of.
Tease.
It is. That's correct, James. Your Canada knowledge is great. In this case, it's full of hungry wolves and snow and just horribleness. It's like DayZ without the zombies. It is literally just you versus the environment, and the game has, I guess, technically an illustrated style to it, but for me, it's more of almost like a painterly style. It's not like illustrated Walking Dead style. It's definitely more of a painted feel to the game, and the feeling of desolation and cold as you're out there, on the razor's edge, just trying to survive is excellent. Their atmosphere is like nothing else. I have loved my single hour I've played. I'm trying to resist. I have no time before vacation. I want to play and stream it too so badly. I just know I don't have time because there's no save function. So like,
awesome.
So there's no save function.
Yeah.
You just start it up, and however long you play, that's as long as you make it. Like,
yeah, here it's in early access right now, so it's just the sandbox mode and no like save games yet. Save games and then a story mode are coming closer to beta. This is just like the initial proof of concept. Here's the environment you can explore in. And there's like randomized elements you can find. I've heard there's like this. No, I don't want to say it. I don't want to give anything away. I heard rumors. It's exciting. But I am
playing it. I'm excited.
As someone who plays way too much DayZ, and I've been waiting for more survival games to get going and actually be good. This one I bought on day one, which is very unusual for me. I bought 2 games this month. I guess I've been sick. I've just been feeling weird. But I've really been enjoying the Long Dark so far, and I want to get in there and play more for sure.
Cool.
Dave, come back to the light.
Dave enjoyed the Long Dark.
All right, it is now time to talk about. We'll talk about Total War real quick, so just so we can spend most of our time talking about DayZ.
If I can just interject for a second,
yes,
Joel,
you
the Long Dark is when your mom walks by. That's.
Ooh, not a bad one.
We can continue now. Are we doing Total War next?
Yes. So, Dave, what is this Total War announcement you have to make?
Yeah, I was telling Joel about this earlier. Both Battlefield 4 and Rome 2 Total War are releasing their, hey guys, we finally finished the game Uber patches this month. Both of them basically a year, more or less, after their official launches. I would consider them to be more or less complete at this point. I think Battlefield has a bit further to go than Total War does. In Rome 2's case... Huh?
The free?
It is free. Dude, if it was not free, the amount of rage... It's a year late. They finished the game a year late. Like, you can't charge for that. Besides, they've already peppered us with DLC along the way.
So, wait, the Attila the Hun, is it an expansion, or is it just a renaming of the game? What is it?
Let me get there.
Okay.
So, the patch came out... It's like Game of the Year edition. Basically, it's called now Rome 2 Emperor edition. The, hey guys, we finished the game edition. I played a few hours of it, and honestly, compared to what we had last year, it is a different game, which I think we're going to see with Battlefield 4 once that CTE patch comes out. It's going to be a different game compared to a year ago. It's sad to see. Yay, it's finished. Should have taken a year to get here. But they also this week announced their next game, which is Total War Attila, which is Attila the Hun. Traditionally, Creative Assembly has done one major Total War game. Like, there was Empire Total War, which is the entire world, India, Africa, South America. There's 20 nations. There's trading, navies, armies, political stuff, technology, all that stuff. Then there's like a second, more refined version of that game that's like on a smaller scale. So after Empire came Napoleon, where it was just Europe, and like the battles had so much more depth to them. Cannons worked better, and like you could use them in different ways. It makes the Empire battles feel very stale and very like kind of cardboard cutout. Like, it's basically a refined and smaller scaled version of the base game. So it looks like Attila is going to be the scaled down and refined version of Rome 2. It looks good. And Napoleon was a great game, but much like Rome 2, Napoleon was trying to make up for all the mistakes they made and missed opportunities from Empire. It's like they make the big game, miss a whole bunch of goals, spend a year patching it, find out a bunch of better ways to do stuff, then make a slightly smaller scale game that does a lot of stuff better, but is then smaller scale. One thing in particular that caught my attention in the press release for Total War Attila is they're talking about a feature that fans were super upset that Rome 2 did not have, and that was the family tree system. And like, you remember medieval Total War, Jeremiah?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in original Rome too. I didn't play a whole lot of that one, but the family tree was like a big part of the political system. Like you had to build up your family, and Rome didn't have that. So you're playing either as maybe Carthage or Rome, these massive empires, and the political system was just very bare bones. Like you know, political families in Roman history, like that was a huge part of it. Like the struggle between the different families, and it was like barely in the game. So now we have a smaller scale Attila game coming after Rome too, and they're like, guys, we're bringing family trees back. And I'm like, well, that's cool, but it's 300 years after Rome too. Like the Roman Empire is crumbling. The families aren't important. Well, they aren't as important anymore. Like you miss that opportunity in the main big scale game to use that to your full advantage. I really feel like if it's anything like Napoleon and Empire Total War, Attila will be good. It'll have a lot of refinements, but it'll make you stand back and go, man, why couldn't we have all these cool refinements in the big game that came out, you know, a year and a half ago? Joel, what are you beating?
What am I beating? Oh, just my wife.
Oh, all right. Well, that's we don't
Okay.
approve of that on this podcast.
No, but seriously, what are you doing?
Sorry, I was taking out the trash.
Okay. We appreciate you being on here.
I think when Joel says he was,
You know, and I was just about to say your birthday's coming up soon, and I was about to offer you something, but no, I'll take that and I'll take it back.
what kind of segue was
Yeah,
that?
Joel, you said, I was like, you're making so much noise. Thanks for being on the podcast. You're like, yeah, and your birthday's coming up soon. I'm like, what? I don't know.
Now I'm gonna offer you something you're really gonna like.
The long
okay.
dark.
While we've got Joel,
More like the short white light.
ow, my ribs, ow, James, no. James, you're
The
killing
Polish
me. It hurts.
kielbasa.
It hurts.
You're Polish, right?
Yes.
Yes, the Polish kielbasa.
While we have Joel Scratchley on the line, I'm
More
gonna
like pork and
blow
beans.
I'm gonna blow his mind. Let me finish the sentence, please. Don't interrupt right there. I'm gonna amaze Joel. How about that with a PC feature? Joel, what were you just complaining about that you hate so much about PC graphics cards and unstable frame rates?
About
About
Yeah.
VC?
Was just talking about like games don't have that many options to like lock frame rates sometimes.
Joel, open up your NVIDIA control panel, select the game you want to change, scroll down to vertical sync, and there's like 10 options, including adaptive half refresh rate. So if you have a 60
really?
hertz screen, you can lock it to 30 with any game on your NVIDIA graphics card.
Oh, that's great news. Is that a latest update?
Joel, it's been like that for like 7 years.
Oh.
PC.
Okay. How am I supposed to know that?
Well, you could look at what your graphics card offers as far as features occasionally.
I mean, yeah, look at the options every once in a while. I guess that would be.
No, I've looked at options before. I'm like, it's usually like a lot of color profile things. You know, you can turn various like 3D shadows, all those. You know, like the kind of random. I forget what it's called. Like we did it in Skyrim. It like messed with the shadows with the grass and stuff like that.
Ambient
I don't
occlusion.
generally, yeah, I don't usually mess around with that stuff because I don't have a problem with it. I didn't know you could go and set it so they could do that. That's pretty cool.
I mean, it's a little obscure, but not that obscure. But I've heard you talk about it a few times, and I was like, I'm like 99% sure I've used that before when I had that issue where I couldn't maintain 60, and it kind of bothered me. So, but yeah, it's there, and it works for any game that is supported by your driver, which is, you know, all games we play.
Okay.
So, Joel, now that I have enlightened you, you're going to be purchasing a discounted copy of The Witcher 3 from GOG.com for $40, right?
No.
Joel, I now have a question for you. Why don't you enjoy nice things like normal people?
I enjoy nice things. I enjoy playing single player on my PS4. I bought a PS4 for that. I like
Joel,
the
I
PC games
researched for
playing.
you. I spent 2 minutes opening the NVIDIA control panel to research for you.
Hey, when it comes to graphics, I want to have Half-Life 3 and Battlefield and all those games as high as possible because I like playing with the mouse and keyboard. Those games are fun to play with it. But there's certain games I just want to play with a controller. Skyrim is more fun with a controller.
I disagree with that. I hated Skyrim with a controller.
Well, you hate everything with a controller, so that's...
No,
you know.
I love Watch Dogs with a controller, and actually I've had some fun in Witcher 2 with a controller. But Skyrim, just something about it. Maybe the combat was just too clunky in Skyrim to enjoy with a controller for me.
I mean, it was a little clunky, but... Yeah. whatever.
wanted
I'm
my
used to-
fast spins.
Used to like
with
games like
maps.
Uncharted and stuff like that. I don't know. I enjoy playing with the controller more often, so I don't care about having 100% speed mouse control. It doesn't matter, especially on games that I'm playing by myself. It doesn't matter.
And that attitude, Joel, is why you haven't traveled to London to play what's going to be the world's biggest competitive FPS, Battlefield 4. So, I mean, you could have been a part of that experience, making the next gen of competitive games. Like, forget Counter-Strike, Battlefield 4 is going to be a high-rolling competitive game. And because of my enjoyment of the mouse, I get to be a part of that.
Hey, do you guys remember that one year, a couple of years ago, when Dave was like, "No, Battlefield is a really competitive game. It's gonna do really well in the competitive market." No.
They still passed around a tweet, Joel, in late September of last year, like 2 weeks before Battlefield 4 launched. I'm not going to say who on air, but a member, a kind of unappreciated, that's not the right word, a member of the DICE team that's not well loved by the community posted a tweet that basically, like, this is a pretty close quote here. He's like, "I guarantee you that in 6 months, Battlefield 4 will be the biggest competitive game on the market." He's like, "You can write that down right now." And he's like, hashtag high rollin' studio.
Fired.
Like, dude, at PAX this year, like E3, there were people who had printed out that tweet and like had it on T-shirts, and like we were like walking through the EA booth wearing that T-shirt. It was just, awkward.
And speaking of Battlefield Bad Company 2 is gonna be free on 360.
Oh,
That's
you mean
all.
the game that everyone's bought for $2 on PC?
It's actually $2 used for Xbox also.
Really? That's
But it's
Yeah.
gonna be free, James. It's gonna be free.
You only have to pay $60 a year to get it for free.
Ow, my ribs!
All
I
right.
miss being able to laugh.
Hey, Jeremiah, I wrote down one thing in news. Did you guys already talk about it? I'm trying to remember even what I put down. I put down yesterday, I think.
About
I think it was the first news thing.
yeah, we already did it.
Okay, what was it again?
Titan's been canceled.
No. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
None of us were waiting for that, Joel. I'm sorry.
It is time for DayZ patch impressions. So DayZ got a patch last week. DayZ gets lots of patches. Most of them suck. This patch did not suck quite so bad. Dave, could you lead us through the main big substantial changes in this patch?
Yeah, I'll just touch on them briefly because we actually covered it a whole bunch last week. Basically, although they called that May patch the survival patch, this is really the survival patch because you actually have to use the survival features. You have to build campfires to survive the cold. You have to have warm clothes that aren't shredded up, that aren't soaking wet. Food is more scarce, zombies are more dangerous, and instead of just joining the game like you did in 0.48 to grab an M4 off of some duper in Berezino to then go hunt other dupers and new spawns, you're actually logging into the game and desperately trying to like hunt an animal with like your 3 rounds of Mosin ammo that you're like clutching to your chest as you shiver in the rain under a tree. Like it really has completely changed the feel of the game. And Jeremiah mentioned earlier, we've actually pushed our Breaking Bad Bandit series kind of to the back burner because we can't film it and we actually don't want to because we're having so much fun surviving in DayZ.
We're having fun. That's the main thing. We're having fun in DayZ.
Would you agree here?
We pushed it to the back burner because we needed something to get warm off of. 'Cause we're all freezing.
To
Oh,
death.
James, I appreciate that effort at least.
No,
Thanks.
yeah, but it's
I was going to ask you just a second, Jeremiah. Would you agree that already in 0.49, there are more survival elements now in standalone than the mod ever had by far?
yeah, I'd say so.
Because temperature was always just broken, and weather didn't do anything to you really. There's plenty of
Man,
food.
if they introduce contaminated water soon, this game's gonna suck again. It's gonna be so hard. No, it's pretty crazy. I don't want to give away too much because we want you guys to like watch the video that we'll be putting out soon. But
good things are coming, guys.
good things are coming. But like just to briefly touch on it, this has never happened to me in a game like this before. I spawned in going to meet up with Dave and James, and I met up with Debbie first. We happened to spawn near each other, and it was cold. We were both getting cold because we spawned in wearing t-shirts and it's the middle of the winter. And we found one coat and we're both shaking. So we're jogging along the road and we're trading the coat off like every couple minutes. As one person gets too cold, we trade coat. Like one person gets, the other person gets the coat, so we can both stay alive.
That's
and
so
then,
awesome.
So many zombies were chasing us when we got into town. We had to climb on top of this little shack and sit on top of the shack and eat food so we didn't starve to death.
Weren't you guys like surrounded by zombies too? Like
yeah,
on
they
that
were
little shed?
surrounding us. They were surrounding us, but they couldn't get up. Fortunately, just last night we were able to lock zombies outside of a house. You even commented, Dave, when you came up, there were tons of zombies outside this house, but we were safe indoors because the zombies couldn't just run through the walls, which is pretty awesome now.
Have you guys seen where they'll stand outside of a open, like the broken windows, and they'll actually like stare at you and growl through the open window? It's awesome.
When those systems work, the game is a lot more fun. And the one firefight we got into, spoilers, it was a firefight between guys with really crappy guns, not tons of kitted up players. It was like a shotgun, one SKS, a Magnum. Like it was just a couple things here and there.
When was the last time, for those of you guys that do play DayZ along with like we do pretty frequently, when was the last time you were in a firefight and someone was using a pistol as their primary weapon? Like that's the ecosystem on 0.49, where you're just happy to have a pistol that has ammo. I mean, it feels so good.
I'm happy to not be up against unlimited mags at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I mean, the only thing I had time to do in the past 2 sessions is try to stay alive. Like we were just running around desperately looking for enough food, constantly in starvation mode, shaking because we were so cold, which makes your food go down quicker. And if you run, it makes your food go down quicker. And like I'm hungry and I'm thirsty and I'm freezing and we can't find any animals to kill to start a fire. And, you know, everything's on fire, or we're trying to like start a fire.
You can't find any people to kill to steal their food.
Exactly. Like,
Can't find any animals when you need to. They're all like hibernating.
So it felt like we were trying to survive. It was pretty awesome.
I have to tell you a random thought on the way to work this morning. I saw some horses in the field. I was like, oh, that'd have been perfect last night. I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is real life, not a game.
James, you're going to like real life. With fall coming up, James, you're gonna be like driving to work, see a brush fire, like someone's burning leaves over the horizon. You're gonna be like, crash helicopter, I'm calling in sick.
You're running around the ground. Where's the high-end loot? And they're like, what?
I'll probably hop out of my car and start going like this.
And you're like, wait, why am I getting tired? I can run for 10 miles. Pull out.
I'm getting cold.
I really am looking forward to all the whining Dave's going to do when they add weight. So Dave and James cannot have their super full backpacks. That's going to make me happy.
That's what's so exciting though with persistence is that like right now, I guess maybe before 0.49 came out, when persistence was so unstable, like there's so many things you can do in the game. Like you can fish, you can have like different kinds of stun guns, you can put in your backpack, but at some point you can't carry all the different things for crafting, for bows and arrows, for fishing. Like you need a home base to store all the crap that you don't want to carry. Like if you're surviving in a real apocalypse, which you know is happening any day now, which we're all preparing for by playing this game, you're not going to go out to raid a pharmacy carrying your fishing pole and like 2 extra splints and your extra rifle, 3 pistols. There's like a certain point where loot that you don't want to get rid of that might be useful at some later point, you don't need to have on you constantly. So I think the tents are a big part of, once they add the weight system, you want to like swap things out. You'll have different loadouts for basically going out and doing expeditions.
I'm sorry, Dave, are you saying that if this were the apocalypse, you wouldn't be carrying 3 or 4 guns?
No, I'm not saying that at all, actually. I'm saying for DayZ, I wouldn't be. In reality, I would be like, have like severe like spinal and back issues. I'd be like all stooped over from how many slings I'm carrying at one time. No regrets.
Hey, question, guys. Are tents still in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually going to go look. We were going to go look for them last night.
Or any tent anywhere.
We've had them before, Joel. We've had them.
Joel,
Really?
the hive got wiped last week. Remember?
No, I know that. I'm saying playing before that too. I'm like, I'm just surprised. I just haven't really. I just remember when tents were, worked really well in the mod. Like we saw quite a few of them. Like
they're not as prevalent. You have to look for them in specific places.
Yeah, there's 2 things that have changed, Joel. In the mod, even I think right now, it is still very easy to even accidentally dupe a tent. Like the whole mechanic for saving tents in the mod is so scripted and broken. So like so many of the tent cities you would see were because people had either accidentally or on purpose duped tents. So tents were just a huge part of the ecosystem, not by design, but just by problems with the code. So in standalone, the spawns are very, very
I'm just saying
controlled.
for this game, I think I'm just saying that, you know, okay, like when they add the weight system in, it's going to change the game drastically, not
Yes,
just
it
from
is.
that, not just from like, you know, how you play, but it's also going to change it to go, okay, now you're looted up. What the crap do you do now? You know what I mean? Like where when you had a lot of room for loot, like you had a lot more time to go, oh, let's check this place to find more loot. But once you really get kitted out, you know, right now, I mean, there's no vehicles, there's no base building, there's not, you know, there's not a lot of other things to do. So I hope there's going to be more tents because, I mean, tents are one of my favorite parts in another game because it's fun coming across them. Not necessarily even getting a tent, but just like coming across them.
Finding
and
a
finding
camp
other
is the
people's
best.
campsites, stealing from,
The
you know what I mean?
rush of that, oh man. And I was
I,
just
mean,
one last thing.
I hope the game.
Everyone stops talking.
All right, I'm going to talk then. Are they going to add containers to vehicles?
Let me pause for just 1 second. I want to answer the last part of Joel's question. Joel, the biggest reason besides the spawn rates that you had not seen many tents before 0.49 came out was because that there were severe issues with that server-side database getting corrupted that like saves all the persistent loot. That stuff would get corrupted constantly, and so most server owners within a few weeks of 0.48 coming out had just turned it off, and most official servers were broken. So more or less it was just broken for like a month is the main reason why you didn't see them.
Okay.
To answer your question, James, there has been talk of attaching containers to vehicles, and vehicles in the mod had an inventory that was like just part of the vehicle itself. So we might even see like where your base vehicle has like a trunk, and then you could like attach like a military trunk or like a bag to the side or something too. So that could be kind of cool.
That would be awesome to me, especially if you have to like pick up and run with your group.
Imagine
because if you can fortify in a house, I mean, they could like, use refrigerators and stuff as containers too to store your stuff, and just kind of fortify it. That'd be
James,
kind of fun.
I'm imagining the city bus that was part of the mod, like the Eastern European giant 40-passenger bus. Dude, the aisle's full of loot. We have like saddlebags hanging off the side. It's doing 2 kilometers an hour down the road.
Towing 3 cars behind it.
Yes,
James and Dave going, we'll need this at some point. Hey guys, you want to go attack people? Want to go find adventure? No, we got to protect all the stuff we might need.
We're behind the bus pushing.
I guess what I'm hoping with the tent. Oh, go ahead, James.
I was gonna say last night me saying, Debbie, can you come grab this? I don't have any room. Sorry, Debbie. You're just not you're very good at looting.
Debbie had slots left in her backpack. Noob.
Scroob.
No, I guess I'm just hoping with the tents and stuff, you know, it doesn't turn into like when the mod was when we would look around for helicopter parts, where, you know, we'd spend like 18 hours looking for one effing part. Where it's just, you know, it's like that part where it's like it was fun the first time. But then after that, I was like, no, yeah, but no one wants to spend 18 hours looking for a helicopter blade, you know. And the same with the tent. It's like if you guys are going, hey guys, let's go search for a tent. Yay, we spent 5 hours searching for a tent. We set it up. We got shot. We lost it all. It's like, oh, crap. You know, but it's like, hey, let's go searching for an hour and a half.
I've been with Dave when he went searching for the tent.
Oh, I heard. I'm glad that you guys are excited about that, but no, I won't be playing the game if it's like that. It's just too much time for a game.
Get this, Joel. It gets even crazier because of the limited like script method in the mod. Like the only thing you could do with tents once you found them was like run them over with a vehicle to get rid of them, right? That's the only way you could delete them off the server. Well, in standalone, if you empty the tent out, you can actually like drag all the loot, throw it on the ground, and then pack the tent up and steal the freaking tent itself. Like you just run off with their tent. So we could roll.
I'm excited about that, but
we could roll up onto a campsite in like one of those VS3 like old army trucks, put all the loot in the truck, and they like take the tents. They'll come back to like an empty clearing in the forest. How awesome would that be?
I hope they add the ability that you can leave signs or something like that. You could put like a little stake and like a little sign that says you've been had.
You've been had.
All right, Joel doesn't get to write the notes.
What a terrible bandit you are, Joel. Oh my.
Hey,
Joel,
James,
you can just hang your pants. Joel, you can just nail your pants to a tree with a sign that says "Come find me."
A free gift down in Cherno.
That's what they're calling it these days.
Joel's just giving it away in Cherno.
I'm experiencing long dark.
My ribs.
Rotten Polish kielbasas in Cherno. All right, it is now time for mail. Joel.
Wow.
You tried, Joel. That's as important.
It's a little late.
That was Joel. That was more delayed than the Xbox Live system.
You said the guy's playing DayZ with lag.
Dave, sorry. I think you needed a little more information, Dave, to do a good job there. Sorry.
It's been a long time since I used Xbox Live.
It's like that stupid Xbox that no one plays.
What a small ecosystem.
You already heard from Kanan, who wrote into the show, casualshenanigans@gmail.com, just like you can. Our next bit of mail is from Scotty. Scotty says, hey guys, your podcast from a couple weeks ago reminded me of a DayZ video I watched recently. Basically, the scene we had in Breaking Bad when we talked about server badmins who restart the server when their feelings are hurt. This well-known YouTuber also had a similar thing happen where he and his friends engaged these guys who like ran up behind them. They were watching some guys in town. They were waiting to snipe them probably. So they were being bandits. And these guys came up behind them, like stumbled into them. So they engaged them and the server restarted. And they came back in and engaged them again. The server restarted as soon as they shot them. And yeah, those people suck. So thank you, Scotty.
What a strange coincidence.
Yeah, what a weird and strange coincidence. But Scotty, thank you for sending that to me because I did enjoy watching it. Our next bit of mail is from Quirky Lobster. Quirky Lobster says, hey guys, I'm thinking of getting a mic to go along with my headset like you guys. Any good thoughts on where to start or even timestamps to earlier episodes for mic chat and those? I love my podcast. Good to listen to in the background. Why aren't we getting all of your attention, Quirky Lobster? Don't be a dick. With that, what type of mic do you need? Like, do you need a 3.5 millimeter to add to your existing headset? Do you need a USB mic? Let us know what type of mic you need, but my initial suggestions would be if you can afford like $30-$40, I would get an Antlion mod mic. I have one. It's fantastic. The Antlion mod mic 4 is out. I have the 3. The 3 is awesome. The 4 is also awesome. It comes with a little magnetic clip so you can attach it to your headphones, and it's a really good mic. If you can't afford that, Zalman makes a high sensitivity headphone microphone that tons of people swear by. I've never used it, but it's $8 with Prime shipping on Amazon. So that's probably a pretty decent choice, but if you want the best audio quality, you need a mic that comes up close to your face. If you want a USB mic, we can send you some recommendations on those. Just let us know what you're looking for. And thank you for writing in. Although I actually left it as a comment on a video, but that also works. And it is now time for Dave's comments of the week, where Dave, naked, cold, and sitting in the rain out in the wilderness, desperately looking for sustenance, pries off a can of beans, expecting something good within, and instead he finds total garbage, and then he dumps it out and shows it to us.
Rancid sardines.
Rancid sardines. Show us those rancid, blood-soaked sardines.
Oh, I'm drinking coffee here. I've got 2 of these comments are basically a set. And Joel, you don't have to read these comments this week. Like, I don't need the angry Joel voice. These 2 go together. The first one was on our DayZ standalone trying to save Debbie video. You are a knob. Learn to play ASAP. I've been playing DayZ for a couple of years now. I guess I'm okay at the game. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. I'm not to brag. I think I've got it under control.
Someone's swinging that internet dick around.
Wild,
The long dark.
I think all right,
We've gotten our.
Yeah, let's just vote. All right, the long dark jokes are gone now. I think I've got 1 or 2 more Polish kielbasas in me, but after that,
what?
Dave,
How many Polish kielbasas do you have in you right now, Jeremiah?
they're so small you can't tell. But
Dave,
yeah.
you just keep slapping that seal.
And banned from Twitch.
But yeah, anyway.
So yeah, I had on day 1 the comment, learn to play DayZ standalone, get good at standalone. I just thought it was so great because like out of nowhere on a mod video that's like literally 2 years old, within hours of that comment.
Do you think that last one was for Debbie?
No, I don't think so. It was directed at me. I feel like I think it was a reply to one of my comments on the video. So I think it was for me. Within hours of that, on a 2-year-old mod.
I'm professional DayZ player.
I'm basically a competitive DayZ player at this point. Within hours of that comment on a 2-year-old mod video, I got the comment, just very simple to the point, you suck at mod. All right, thanks for your opinion.
Someone was watching the video was like, oh man, he needs to know. I gotta log into Google Plus, verify identity, send verification code. All right, let's let him know how I feel.
Then I got a comment for Jeremiah, actually. Turgy0 comments on last week's podcast. That shout out at the end of the podcast from Jerm shows he is the whitest of white people.
Which that's not even an insult. Being white is awesome. I'm a young, white, middle-class American male. Life is amazing.
Cut the feed!
No. We're just going to talk about minorities for a second.
Moving on to the last comment of the week, we do have 4 this week. This one actually is one that made me laugh the hardest because I couldn't figure out what was going on with my email. I was getting like tons of social like email alerts, and I went to the first one, and this certain person started on our DayZ Epoch video, the only one we've ever posted back in May. I know it's funny, Jeremiah, but you gotta hold it together.
Don't pull a kielbasa.
I want to mute my mic.
Jeremiah's pulling a Dave. He can hear. So, on our DayZ Epoch video, this guy says...
Yeah, I'm good. I just swallowed some water down the wrong pipe.
I'm gonna
look. Yes, I was drinking too fast. Does that make you happy?
I'm gonna push this comment out no matter what.
Barrel from eating from a biscuit.
Push out, Dave.
All
right, I'm pushing this comment out. Stay with me, guys. Stay with me. So this comment on our Epoch video starts out, I am not advertising. Please don't hate on me for this. And there's a space, DayZ Epoch, and then a server IP address. Don't hate, not advertising. Then in the next 15 minutes, he copied and pasted that exact same comment on 11 other videos in a row on my channel. But he's not advertising. Please don't hate. And those are our comments of the week.
And next week, there will not be a podcast. There will not be a live podcast. We will be at the beach enjoying friendship together.
Enjoying Joel's running shorts, apparently.
And we will definitely record at least one podcast, possibly some casual conversations, but we will not even have internet access reliably. So there will not be a live podcast next week, but you guys will be just fine without us. You won't miss us that bad, be honest. And we will return in full force the week after that, and there will probably be something uploaded as soon as we get home from vacation. So thank you guys for coming out to watch the podcast. As always, you can write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com. You can tweet at casualshenanigan, at evilviking, at JERMgaming, and you can leave comments on any of our YouTube videos to be a part of the show. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. Thank you for rating us on iTunes, and thank you for watching the show. That's the most important thing. We appreciate your feedback. We appreciate you guys coming out every week, and we have an awesome time, so thank you for being here for it. And with that, everybody, does anyone have anything else to add before we go?
If the beach washes away, it's the end of all things casual shenanigans, because we're all going to be there together.
Yeah. We're not doing like the president does when he gives a State of the Union, where like one undersecretary has to like stay back just in case something happens.
That'll actually be me for most of the time.
Oh. If it's stormy, we'll call you, be like, James, turn around. The storm looks bad. Turn around.
You're all that's left.
Drive inland. Drive inland.
I will not be podcasting without you guys.
Oh, thank you, James.
I will not. No, just because I just won't do it by myself.
Oh.
Not because I have any.
I gotta record it, and it's like all this words, podcast notes, and all this dumbness.
Come up with so many more words.
James, you should do one by yourself, and it's like, "Hello, Wastelanders." It's James.
All right.
Hey, guys, I don't know if you guys realize this to our listeners and viewers out there, but Joel's actually a pretty big fan of Fallout. Just a heads up.
All right. I'll talk to you all later. We're leaving. The podcast is ending. Everyone, stay casual.